Feazell's Creighton in the home blues, Georgetown in the road grays. And Creighton has won 3 of 4 games to start the month of February. They won another one here and can move into a tie for 3rd place in the Big East. And it's the Hoyas controlling the tip.
Well, you pointed out Caden Rice in the lineup. Trey Alexander guarding him right now. You're going to have to do a really good job chasing Carey and Rice off screens.
First shot of the night from Aminu Muhammad off the mark. And now here comes Ryan Nembhard, one of a number of freshmen playing considerable minutes this year for Creighton. No Arthur Kaluma tonight for the Blue Jays, still out nursing an injury. And so the rotation tonight for Creighton really tight, just 7 active players.
Which means you can't have silly fouls.
There is Dante Harris putting in the first bucket of the ball game for the Hoyas.
I think he is the catalyst for this team. He's got to get it going. I thought it was interesting talking to Patrick Ewing before the game, saying that he wants to see Dante Harris get that edge, that chip back on his shoulder that he had a year ago.
Was outstanding down the stretch for the Georgetown Hoyas, and a big reason why they made it all the way to the championship game against this Creighton team and came away with a W. First look of the night for Donald Carey off the mark. Harris for 3. These two teams played on Saturday in Washington, D.C. Creighton came away with the 80-66 victory. Nembhard splashes a triple, and it's the first bucket of the contest for the Blue Jays.
That's kind of pick and roll defense right there, because Georgetown really sunk in to the middle of the floor to protect Kalkbrenner rolling to the basket, so it opened up the opposite side of the floor. It's all encompassing when you're defending the ball screen.
That's one thing Patrick Ewing said we just did not do a good job of on Saturday. He said they crushed us with the pick and roll. Meanwhile, Donald Carey puts in a 3, and he's a young man who's played exceptionally well in the Big East campaign. 14.5 points per game over the last 8 for the Siena transfer.
He's playing arguably his best basketball of his career. Carey has been outstanding.
Here is the game summary for the matchup on Saturday, and interestingly, Nick, 3-point shooting has not been the Creighton Blue Jays' strength this year. In fact, they're last in the Big East in 3-point shooting, and yet they hit 12 triples on the road on Saturday.
And that's where I think the 3-point line is. You see Harris with another mid-range jump shot, but I think the 3-point line is going to be really important here. It's where Georgetown usually wins, and Creighton won it on Saturday.
Inside to Kalkbrenner, and a chance at a 3-point play. And he was outstanding on Saturday. 22 points, 15 boards, both career highs.
We already see transition defense becoming problematic, and music to that guy's ears. Greg McDermott, obviously, whenever he is in this building, he really wants to push the pace and push the tempo.
And it's something they haven't been able to do lately, Nick, and yet they've found ways to win. You look at their last 6 games before Georgetown, they were averaging less than 58 points per game.
Yeah, it's a little bit different built of a Creighton group. They still want to push it when they can and shoot the 3, but they're honestly better inside and defensively than they've been in years past, so they're capable of winning grinders.
Trey Alexander, a tough step back over the outstretched arm of Malcolm Wilson.
Trey Alexander does such a good job playing off 2 feet.
Making his 2nd career start for the injured Arthur Kaluma. Now Hawkins in transition.
Well, you said it, partner. Transition. Creighton right now, whether it's early post-ups with Kalkbrenner, Alexander with the drive, you find a 3 with Hawkins. Georgetown's got to have much better urgency spurting back and getting matched up.
All of a sudden, 8 points in the last 50 seconds for Creighton, and there's a run stopper from Donald Carey. A much-needed bucket for the Hoyas.
Georgetown's got to do a better job sprinting back, stopping Ryan Nembhard, and getting matched up immediately.
That was a big issue in the loss on Saturday. They gave up 22 fast break points to this Creighton team and only scored 4 of their own. But now a fast break opportunity for Muhammad. And he leaves it short, but the foul goes against Trey Alexander, and Muhammad will get 2 shots.
Well, Ryan Hawkins was hot on Saturday, and he's hot here on Monday night, picking up where he left off, knocking down a triple in transition.
Showtime at Daytona. Real season starts today, man. Show everybody what we got. There's a fight.
Here they come. The Daytona 500, Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on Fox.
The Google Pixel 6 for all the Bucks fans, Serbian fans who became Nuggets fans, Heat fans who want to get rid of photobomb fans,
Magic.
Woj fans, Top Shot fans, all the nothing fans.
Are you taking a photo of us? Is that okay?
For that once-in-a-lifetime shot, and fans seeing it up close for the first time. There are so many ways to love the NBA, and the Pixel 6 is built for all of them.
When we started our business, we were paying like an arm and a leg for the postage. I remember setting up ShipStation. I think it was just like 1 or 2 clicks. Everything was up and running. I was printing out labels and saving money.
ShipStation saves us so much time. It makes it really easy and seamless. Pick an order, print everything you need, slap the label onto the box, and it's ready to go.
Our cost for shipping, like, were cut in half, just like that.
ShipStation, the #1 choice of online sellers. Go to shipstation.com/TV and get 2 months free.
This is what it's all about. From the heart of New York City, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden.
And the fans feel it. The energy in the building right now is phenomenal.
And here we go.
How about that? Woo! Dropping dimes.
They are playing ball.
Crashing the glass.
Listen to this crowd in the Big East Championship. Old school basketball
For the win.
Thursday night on FS1.
Can you believe this?
Johnny Juzang leads 13th ranked UCLA against Washington State.
Get out of here.
Thursday at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on FS1.
Welcome back to Omaha. It's an early lead for the Blue Jays. An 8-0 run helped them jump out to a 2-point lead, taking on the Georgetown Hoyas in a rematch of last year's Big East Tournament Championship game, which was dominated by one Dante Harris. Nick, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists for Mr. Harris in the championship game.
He was at his best when his team needed it the most. When the backs were against the proverbial wall, Dante Harris stepped up and delivered for Georgetown to the tune of 4 wins in 4 nights, pension their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And that guy right there was a bad boy at Madison Square Garden last March.
Big East Tournament's most outstanding player, and you mentioned it before the last break, Nick. Patrick Ewing felt like he played with a chip on his shoulder last year. Georgetown was his only high major offer. He came in feeling like he had something to prove. He wants to see more of that Dante Harris down the stretch this year.
Yes, and I thought it was interesting that, you know, we asked about Dante Harris, and he went to that intangible thing rather than a tangible thing in terms of how he puts his fingerprints on this team, but trying to get that edge, that chip, however you want to put it. Patrick Ewing was telling us that Dante Harris needs to bring that swagger back, and I tend to agree with him. I think when Harris plays well, Georgetown plays well.
And you look at Georgetown's record, you say, okay, they're 0-12 in the Big East. This has not been a good year for them, and you'd be right, but they have been very close. Patrick Ewing talked to us before the game, and he felt like there's a handful of games there that if they had not had a 5 to 6 minute stretch where they just sort of lost focus, they could have a couple of wins under their belt here as Kalkbrenner puts the first bucket down for him tonight.
Well, and I think that's what's going to be interesting to watch, though, is how Georgetown handles themselves when that lull starts. And Patrick Ewing, I did their game at DePaul last week, and Patrick Ewing wasted all of his timeouts by the 18-minute mark of the second half, where if he felt like it was getting away from him, Patrick Ewing was quick to call a timeout.
And they had one of those lulls against this Creighton team. It was a 5-point game at halftime. Then Creighton comes out within the first 5 minutes. They start a 12-0 run, and at that point, Creighton's down double figures.
And that's where I actually think Dante Harris needs to step up. You need to have a problem solver on the floor for you, and oftentimes that's your point guard.
And there is a clock issue. Paul Sells blowing the whistle, so it'll be Georgetown basketball. Shot clock did not start when the ball was inbounded, so it's a fresh 20 for the Hoyas.
See the clock on the inbounds. Didn't start right away. Good catch by the official. So now Andre Mikashvili in the game, kind of a defensive energy giver, having to play more minutes. Already a turnover with Carey.
Offensive foul against Keyshawn Feazell. Just checking into the ball game as well for the Blue Jays. Fouls are something to keep an eye on tonight for them, Nick, with the short bench.
Well, a tough one. Might have been a little Hollywood from Donald Carey, but nevertheless sent him flying. And you're right, though, with how shorthanded Creighton is, cannot afford foul trouble.
Offensive rebound. Ego Efe finds Aminu Mohammed.
Well, you can tell Patrick Ewing's trying to figure out which one of these three big guys wants to take ownership of the position. Ego Efe, Wilson, or Mutombo.
Carey getting into the passing lane and a 3-on-1. Gives it up to Rice. Lots of contact, no call. Mohammed sent to the floor, and it's back to the Blue Jays.
Good energy from Aminu Mohammed, though.
Harris on the drive. Off the front end. Ego Efe a second opportunity. That was one thing Patrick Ewing wanted to see more of from his team tonight. Hitting the glass. Ryan Kalkbrenner himself had 7 offensive rebounds in the first meeting, but now Georgetown crashing the glass on this end.
Certainly Georgetown has dominated the glass early. You look at the keys to the game. We talked about the three-point line. It's an area Georgetown needs to win, and Creighton won it on Saturday and won the game. Ball screen defense, first words out of Georgetown head coach Patrick Ewing's mouth was need to be better in terms of ball screen defense. And then Creighton's got to push the pace, do a good job of attacking in the open floor. And then at times, turnovers have been an issue for the Creighton Blue Jays. And we've seen that already. A couple of live ball turnovers. Blue Jays got to take care of the rock.
Alex O'Connell checking in for the first time.
I like the energy Georgetown's had to start the game. They're flying around, crashing the offensive glass, setting the tone.
Five to shoot for O'Connell. Trying to turn the corner. Shot altered by Ego Efe, but Feazell is there, and he was fouled before the rejection.
Pretty good ball movement by the Blue Jays there. Got to work side to side, and I think Creighton feels like if they get ball reversals and set enough ball screens, they're going to be able to get what they want ultimately in the half court. Got to exercise patience, though.
Keyshawn Feazell began his career at Mississippi State, came to Creighton by way of McNeese State, where he was a stud. and has taken on a bit of a different role this year for Creighton, and that's something that Greg McDermott is really proud of him for doing.
Well, quite frankly, I don't know if anyone saw the jump that Kalkbrenner was going to make, and Feazell, I think, probably felt like there could be an opportunity for him to play a lot of minutes, but Kalkbrenner's been just so good that Feazell's minutes have been hard to come by, but his attitude has remained the same.
Carey almost had it poked out of bounds. Tyler Beard, fresh off the bench, gives it back to Carey, and tipped into the hands of Nembhard. One thing we have seen from Patrick Ewing, Nick, over the last couple of games, going deeper down the bench, having a larger rotation, trying to figure out which combinations work on a good feed inside the Eagle FA.
But you're right, that's exactly what this is. You can tell Patrick Ewing's just trying to figure out which combination of guys is clicking and figuring out, quite frankly, which guys want to take ownership of roles and minutes.
And there was a delay of game warning on Eagle FA after hanging on the rim, I believe.
A pretty nice pass from Carey. Rose up like he's going to shoot a jump shot. Bounce pass, and Eagle FA rocks the rim.
So now it's a 2-point Georgetown lead. For the first media timeout, Creighton had an 8-0 run rolling. O'Connell on the pull-up, puts it in.
Well, he's usually a guy that is a catch-and-shoot three-point jump shooter, not a guy that's going to shoot him off the bounce. See Modestus Kenslaris in the game for the Blue Jays, 55 in blue. There he is getting one in the open floor, but talking about a guy in Kenslaris, he's only played in 9 games heading up to this evening. So it just goes to show you how shorthanded the bench is with Kaluma and his injury, and Sharif Mitchell and his groin issues.
And a foul, much to the chagrin of the home crowd here at the CHI Health Center. But the 3-ball falling for Alex O'Connell, partner.
For the most part, this guy has been lights out from beyond the arc. Put it on the deck a few times. Rising fire. Blue Jays up 1.
This year, make good on your resolution to join a community that knows no bounds. Gather with more friends, experiencing places unknown. And become part of a family that knows the best adventures are the ones we share. Embrace each day, knowing that no matter where you go, it'll be one you never forget.
Shop and buy online with Jeep eShop, where right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on select 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee models.
Time for a kitchen refresh. Come into Lowe's now for a rebate on Samsung appliances, like their 4-door Flex refrigerator with beverage center and air fry range. Find the prices you like every day with Lowe's Price Promise.
So with Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more?
Yeah, home, car, motorcycle, all bundled together. Just like that breakfast burrito.
So can I get chorizo?
Yeah, metaphorically, yeah.
Carnitas.
Just chicken. Just give me a bunch of chicken.
Oh, bacon?
Oh, wait, there isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sensitive palate.
I actually like hot sauce. Can I get chips?
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Sure.
Okay.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
With 4 strips of crispy bacon and rich melty cheese and 2 juicy charbroiled patties. Of course, no meeting can compete with this meat. Give in to the new Double Bacon Beast Burger at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's and feed your happy.
Want to get away? Now you can. With low fares starting at $59 one way.
Mayor.
We bring flavor.
Whoa. Citizens, Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda is the loudest flavors ever. Flavor.
At Credible.com, we've helped tens of thousands of people save money by refinancing their student loans. In 3 minutes, we'll get you actual rates from multiple lenders. We could save you hundreds of dollars a month.
Visit Credible.com to see how much you could save.
Welcome back to Omaha. 1-point lead for the Creighton Blue Jays. Back and forth affair here in this rematch of a meeting that happened a little over 48 hours ago, Nick, in Washington, D.C. Both of these teams in the midst of a number of games in a short amount of time. It's been a good one, though, for the first 8 minutes.
I think if you're Creighton, although you're down one, or excuse me, Georgetown, you're down one. I've liked the energy that Georgetown's had. They've already collected 4 offensive rebounds. Just think they've played with a sense of urgency that you anticipated given the circumstances that Georgetown would play with.
Hoyas are in the midst of 5 games in 11 days, 4 of those on the road. And we were told that as soon as this game's over, they're on their way to Milwaukee, where they will play Marquette in a couple of days.
Yeah, that's challenging. But as a player, you love it. I mean, as a player, you just want to play games. So all these guys are really enjoying the scheduling, jamming in games. It's like AAU for these guys all over again.
Or the NBA.
That's right.
If you're Patrick Ewing. Off the back iron from Ego Efe. And how about Harris? Listed at 6 foot, generously, I might add, leaping up to get the offensive board, and he draws a foul.
Offensive rebound number 5 for the Hoyas. Again, just energy. Playing hard, flying around. You already get the sense that this team's playing with more energy than they had in D.C. on Saturday afternoon.
Already the 6th team foul for the Blue Jays.
That's a problem. Again, shorthanded bench tonight for the Blue Jays. Have to play defense with that foul if you're Greg McDermott's crew.
How does that change the way you defend with intensity on that end of the floor?
Well, the good news is that Creighton's not a team that really wants to pressure you, so you're not prone to foul. But certainly it's in the back of your mind.
Good feed that time from Nembhard to Kalkbrenner. And that'll be one that fans hopefully will look forward to seeing for many years to come. Harris shaking off Kountouriotou. And it's up ahead to Nembhard, running the break for the Blue Jays. Out to Hawkins. And a second opportunity for the transfer. And he bounces it out of bounds. It looked like O'Connell got caught up on the feet of Patrick Ewing.
I think there's going to be sideline interference here.
And now the officials will get together on this. Brent Hampton, Lamar Simpson, and Paul Sells.
Like Alex O'Connell tripped with Patrick Ewing. Take a look at him, 5 and blue, as he's going to be floating down to the corner. He's going to trip over Patrick Ewing. And the problem was Ewing looked like he was on the floor. Looked like his blue Jordan sneaker was on the court.
Well, I can't imagine what size sneaker he wears at 7'2", but it's got to be pretty big.
Let's take another look at it. Yeah, his foot is on the playing court. You can see right there. And O'Connell trips on him, trying to float down to the corner on the penetration from Hawkins.
He tripped over Ewing!
You could probably hear the fans behind us. They want the officials to take a look at it, but I don't think they will. They just motioned a moment ago that it would be Georgetown basketball.
Well, that's a tough break, because it's one thing if you're cutting and you go and you cut off the floor and you trip over Patrick Ewing, but Patrick Ewing's foot is on the court.
Well, now they're reconvening here and potentially discussing who the ball went off of after it was thrown out of bounds. You could tell Hawkins was looking for O'Connell for a 3 in the corner. But it might have gone off of Kobe Clark of Georgetown.
It's tough to tell. Very interesting sequence. Something you don't see very often in basketball is a player running into a coach. So I think the way I understand is if you're on the floor during the play, it's a technical foul.
And so that's what the discussion has gone back to. If there's a sideline interference here from Patrick Ewing, and I believe that is the call. Ryan Hawkins is standing at the free throw line waiting to take the technical foul shot.
That's the way I understand the rule, is that if you're on the floor, it's a technical foul.
But instead it'll be Alex O'Connell. Looked like Hawkins wanted to take the free throw.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly something you don't see all the time.
No. I don't think Patrick Ewing has any eligibility left.
That's one way to defend the three.
That's right. Well, Creighton hit 12 of them. It is a Class B technical, so it will not count against the team as a team foul. One foul shot for O'Connell, and Creighton will get the basketball back underneath. They lead at 21-19 here, 10:48 left in the first half. A rematch of a meeting a little over 48 hours ago in Washington, D.C. that the Blue Jays won 80-66. O'Connell buries a three.
Boy, he's knocked down 2 threes off the bounce. Shows that O'Connell's in a little bit of a groove.
Largest lead of the first half for the Blue Jays. Carey. Now Muhammad trying to get around Hawkins, could not, and Ego Efe is charged with a foul.
That is a great closeout from Ryan Hawkins. He didn't close out all the way to the three-point line because Muhammad's not a great three-point shooter. Was ready to slide his feet. Did a good job and then contested to finish it off. And Ego Efe just goes right over the top of Ryan Kalkbrenner.
I think there's been an emphasis in the Georgetown locker room about rebounding against this Creighton team. Now we're seeing some pressure from the Hoyas,
which I like. I think Georgetown's good when they pick up full court and they're going to force a turnover with a 10-second violation. Yeah, I think given Creighton's short bench and how turnover prone they've been, averaging about 14 turnovers a game, I like Georgetown throwing some full court pressure.
It's interesting because we haven't seen it necessarily a lot, Nick, especially in the first half from Patrick Ewing this year. It's been more of a by necessity in the second half to get back into the ball game, but frankly many folks have been wanting them to do this more.
Patrick Ewing said that he worries about his team getting tired, that he thinks they get tired if they press the whole game.
Nice spin to the basket by Aminu Muhammad, and now he has 6 points. O'Connell throws it back court, and it's a turnover to the Georgetown Hoyas.
Aminu Muhammad, I like his mentality. He's not settling for jump shots. This is where he's at his best. He's a big-bodied guard. And quite frankly, he didn't play well on Saturday against the Blue Jays. And Patrick Ewing said he was excited to see how Aminu Muhammad would respond. And he has really played hard, as you'd expect, to start this game.
Said he felt like his energy wasn't there, which is atypical of him, whether he's playing well or not. He always brings it. He wants to see that again tonight.
So far, Georgetown's ball screen defense has been a little bit better. They're really committing to trying to take away the roll man.
And then Muhammad strips Ryan Hawkins 2-on-1. Muhammad, the step through, and it rims out. Almost had a chance at a three-point play, and instead 2 shots coming for the freshman.
Well, this is a heck of a sequence here, because this is where Hawkins is really good, just backing people down, and Muhammad's able to poke the ball free, then a little Euro step through the contact, almost gets 3 the hard way. But you can see this guy's motor is really revving high here tonight.
Preseason Big East Freshman of the Year, averaging 14 points per game and nearly 8 rebounds. That's hard to do as a freshman in this league.
His body is far beyond what you'd expect from a freshman, and then his consistency in terms of his effort is really impressive.
More full court pressure after the make for Georgetown. Nembhard floats it up to Hawkins. And now the half-court set for the Blue Jays. Nembhard for three.
Well, Creighton, 5 made threes already. And a lot of these have been tough shots, either off the bounce threes from O'Connell or there going under a handoff, and Nembhard, who hasn't shot it great, shot that one with confidence.
They are 5 of 10, 50% from downtown, a team that shoots at less than 31 from distance. Muhammad lost his dribble. Hawkins diving on the floor and gets it to Nembhard.
It's a big-time dive from Hawkins.
O'Connell really wanted that three. A good closeout from Malcolm Wilson. And Muhammad thought it went off Creighton last. Instead, it'll be Blue Jays basketball when we come back. Blue Jays on top 27-23.
Your home for adventure. Your home for romance. Your home for big savings.
Hey, Mom, have you seen my... Ew.
Because when you bundle home and auto with Progressive, your home is a savings paradise. Bundles Progressive. Your home for savings.
Everyone deserves stylish and quality furniture. So I'm calling all Bobs to help get the word out. Like this Bob, the original Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob, the Bob. President's Day weekend is almost here, and I'm celebrating big time with free treats in all my cafes. Plus untouchable values on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and my world-famous Bobopedic mattresses. And if you love value as much as I do, stop by your local Bob's Discount Furniture store to get your free honorary Bob pin.
Come celebrate this President's Day weekend.
You know, we humans have come a long way on our journey. Our first language wasn't exactly, well, a language. Our first vehicles weren't the fastest. Our first phones weren't smart. Text mom winky face emoji. And the first electric vehicles weren't, let's just say they look nothing like the first ever Ioniq 5. Two-way charging, 300-mile range. The point is, it's been a long journey, but worth it. Evolve your journey. The fully electric Hyundai Ioniq 5.
Wouldn't it be great if all Valentine's Day gifts were filled with peanut butter? Well, maybe not all of them. Maybe it's just Reese's that are better.
Unleash the freshness. Still fresh. It was and booster.
Downy Unstoppables.
4-point lead for the Creighton Blue Jays. 7:49 left in the first half as we go inside the huddle with Blue Jay head coach Greg McDermott.
When you come off a Hawk ball screen, make sure both those guys don't come with you when he pops, because they're still getting messed up in some of those, okay?
Well, you can see, obviously, reading and reacting what's happening defensively with those ball screens with Ryan Hawkins. And whether they're sending two at the ball handler, they're staying attached to Ryan Hawkins, trying to read and react as to what Georgetown's doing in that ball screen defense, because you knew that was going to be the biggest adjustment from game 1 to game 2 that was incumbent upon Georgetown, was remedying their ball screen defense, which was not good enough on Saturday.
Blue Jays hit 12 threes in that game on Saturday. And they've hit 5 here tonight. They're 5 of 10 from downtown, well above the season average. And they lead it by 4 here, under 8 to play in the first half. And something to keep an eye on, Nick. 3 Blue Jays with 2 fouls.
Yes. Certainly, absolutely something to monitor. Trey Alexander, Andronikashvili, and then Keyshawn Feazell all with 2.
No Arthur Kaluma tonight, in addition to a couple of other injuries that the Blue Jays have had really for the last couple of weeks and all year. As Nembhard tries a three, and he puts it in from the right side.
Goodness, 6 made threes. And how about Nembhard shooting 29%, but coming off a staggered baseline double, shooting it with confidence.
He has 3 triples in the first half. Now Rice trying to respond, no good. Hawkins whips it out to Alexander. It's a 6-0 Creighton run over the last 54 seconds. And it's tipped out to Hawkins. Five to shoot for Nembhard. Nembhard with a step back. And Hawkins almost went head over heels there as he crashed to the floor. And it's a foul against Donald Carey.
Well, how about the way Creighton has shot the three here? Knocked on 12 on Saturday in D.C., and they picked it up where they left off here tonight. Look at this ball movement. Ryan Hawkins knocking one down. Alex O'Connell hitting tough ones off the bounce. And this has been impressive from Creighton from beyond the arc.
6 of 13 to start the ball game. And Alexander had it ripped out of his arms by Kobe Clark. It's a jump ball. And the possession arrow pointed towards Creighton.
It's weird, Matt. Creighton's not been a good three-point shooting team, but they've been streaky. Some bad three-point shooting teams never have a good day. Creighton can have decent days shooting the ball. And you see the numbers last in the Big East.
Alexander had it rejected by Muhammad. But they'll call it a goaltending violation. So the basket counts for Trey Alexander. 9-point lead for the Blue Jays.
It's an easy goaltending call. Doesn't it feel like this is one of those lulls for Georgetown that Patrick Ewing told us about? This is where you got to stop the bleeding in the moment and execute if you're the Hoyas.
Second 8-0 run of the half, and there is Harris right on the money to stop the 8-0 run.
I love it. You don't stop the bleeding with hero ball. You stop it collectively with execution. Good little handoff ball screen for Harris.
And a rejection that time by Malcolm Wilson. Making his first start tonight since January the 7th. Part of a couple of adjustments for Patrick Ewing. Harris on the wiggle, no, and there is Wilson with a putback.
Wilson doing it on both ends. But I love Harris's aggressiveness. That created the rotation rebound for Wilson. Drew Kalkbrenner off of him.
Kalkbrenner to O'Connell, and he's fouled at the top of the key. 3 shots coming for the Duke transfer.
Well, Patrick Ewing said that he loved Malcolm Wilson's shot blocking when you recruited him out of high school, and there's a great example of it. Blocking it, keeping it in bounds, but the great drive from Harris brings Kalkbrenner, the shot blocker from Creighton, off of Wilson, and so Wilson's got a free run at the rim, and he rocks it.
Hasn't played a ton of minutes. Went through a stretch there where he started 7 consecutive games due to the injury to Ego Efe, Nick, and then he was used sparingly off the bench. But Patrick Ewing pleased with his effort in practice, and certainly has to be pleased with his effort here in the first half.
Well, and again, you pointed it out, Matt. They've started Ego Efe. They've started Mutombo. They've started Wilson. That guy right there is searching for who wants to take ownership of that 5-man spot. And so we'll see who can go seize it in a game.
And there is Wilson with the rebound.
It's a fine line for Creighton right now. Feels like they're making threes, but man, they're taking a lot of threes. You want to have a little bit better variety in your shot selection. Not saying you don't take good ones, but you don't want to settle for nothing but long-range jumpers.
They had 9 dunks in the game against Georgetown on Saturday. None so far today on a strong take to the rack. And Muhammad now has 8 points. Make it 10 for the freshman. Nembhard left wide open. And Harris skying for the rebound.
Good decision. No numbers. Slow it down. Get organized.
Harris out to Rice. Didn't have a whole lot of room there. O'Connell was all over him. And then O'Connell cutting to the basket in the two-hand jam. And a timeout taken by Georgetown.
Seen this a whole bunch all year. Alex O'Connell, the best backdoor cutter on the Blue Jay roster. And when he backdoor cuts, it's showtime.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because as a fiduciary, it's our responsibility to always put clients first.
So you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. We help clients enjoy a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility.
One that we don't take lightly. It's why our fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. Fisher Investments is clearly different.
I got a lot of advice about my abdominal pain, diarrhea, and constipation.
High fiber diet.
Low fiber diet. Low gluten free. Then I found Kountouriotou IBS Complete Support. And now I have more symptom-free days.
Also try Kountouriotou probiotic supplements.
Forged from the fusion of sweet honey and spicy spice. Wendy's new hot honey chicken biscuit and sandwich. A marvelous marvel of sweet, sweet heat. Cast atop crispy bacon and Wendy's spicy chicken. Because a true sandwich smith knows that flavor like this can
only be forged at a Wendy's.
Willie?
Huh? Oh, right.
Thank you. So sorry. No, it was nice. I liked it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new hot honey chicken sandwich or biscuit at breakfast.
Welcome to Allstate. Here, safe driving saves more than just your cargo. The safer you drive, the more you save with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
What if your resume could adapt and improve? Even create opportunities that let you be seen. An Indeed resume never stops working for you.
Sunday, it's the most iconic day in all of motorsports, the Daytona 500. The Great American Race kicks off the 2022 NASCAR season, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Welcome back to Omaha. 4:30 left in the first half. Georgetown getting some production, Nick, from their Big East preseason freshman of the year, Aminu Muhammad.
Yeah, the McDonald's All-American is playing like it here in the first half. He has been in attack mode, living in the paint, drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line. He's got 10 points, and he's finishing his shots around the rim. Doing a really good job putting pressure on the Creighton bigs. I love his mentality to start this game.
This is the response Patrick Ewing wanted to see out of him in a game that Patrick Ewing characterized as one of his poorer performances of the season.
Yeah, said he's coachable. Again, very rarely has to coach effort with Muhammad, but boy, has he responded here today.
And Harris stepped out of bounds as he received the last pass. It'll go back to Creighton. That's just the third turnover for Georgetown in this first half. They have played a really solid first 15 minutes.
And for the most part, I've liked the shots they've gotten, but they're having a hard time finishing, which has kind of been a theme for Georgetown. They rank 344th in the country in two-point percentage. And a lot of those are layups and shots in the paint. Just have had a hard time finishing.
They were 10 of 27 around the rim on Saturday against Creighton. Double team comes on a backdoor cut to Nembhard. Kountouriotou walled off. 5 to shoot. And Hawkins bailed out on a foul called against Aminu Muhammad.
It's tough because Muhammad's doing what he's supposed to do, being there on the catch for Hawkins, guy who knocked down 8 threes. just a few days ago against Georgetown, so you don't want to give him any opportunity to catch and shoot, but you're a little too close. Get your hands in there. Easy call for the officials.
Feazell, defended by Ego F.A. And Feazell scoops up the loose ball and puts it down. Nine-point deficit for Georgetown. That ties the largest of the first half. Muhammad off the bounce. Nembhard. Extra pass to O'Connell.
Well, that started with a great catch from Feazell. That was in traffic, looking like Cooper Kupp. Bringing it down, and his ability to catch it and spray it out got the party started. Another three, the 7th for the Blue Jays.
And another 7-0 run for Creighton. Caden Rice off the mark. Danger zone here for Georgetown. Largest lead of the ball game for the Blue Jays. O'Connell splashes in another. Back-to-back threes for Alex O'Connell. He has 17 in the first half. And Patrick Ewing forced to call it timeout. 10-0 Creighton run.
Those fries you've been craving. I'm hot and I'm steamy. And oh man, do I smell delicious. I'm calling your name. Oh, Doug. Doug. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, paying for these repairs may be tough to swallow.
Get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem for a whole lot less.
44-29 lead for the Creighton Blue Jays in the midst of a 10-0 run. Their third run of 8 or more in the first half. Coming up at the halftime break, Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, Casey Jacobson debate which team has the highest ceiling in March and who is the front runner for Big East Player of the Year. All next at the halftime break. Alex O'Connell's looking like a Big East Player of the Year candidate the way he's shooting it tonight.
He is hot. He's also the beneficiary of great ball movement. Watch this catch by Feazell. All 5 Hoyas in the lane. You spray it around the horn. You get an easy one for O'Connell, and he drills it. 8 of 16 from 3 is Creighton in this first half.
Meanwhile, a 3-minute scoring drought for the Hoyas. Donald Carey has not scored in a while for Georgetown. Looked like he was going for a shot. Ego F.A. thought he was throwing it up to him and results in a miss. Creighton just moving the ball so quickly right now in this first half.
Because Creighton, I think, is feeling really confident in the open floor that they're going to be able to get whatever they want if they push it. Oh my goodness.
Kountouriotou. Hawkins couldn't quite pay it off. How about the wiggle?
Whoa.
What do you want to see here from the Hoyas to close out the half?
Just execution and finish these shots. I mean, that's Harris's pull-up that he usually makes. Muhammad's been able to get some shots to go down.
Nembhard scoops up the loose ball. Nembhard! Double clutch into the cup, and it's a 12-0 Creighton run.
Boy, when it's ricocheting off of people's heads and going right to your point guard, you know it's your night.
Holloway rejected by Kalkbrenner. O'Connell with the spin. O'Connell puts it down. What a half. Sheesh. For Alex O'Connell. 19 points on 6 of 9.
Just playing with confidence. This has been an avalanche from Creighton here to close out the half.
A 14-0 run. They previously had runs in the early goings of 8-0 or better. twice. And now Harris looking to stop the bleeding. Muhammad, did he beat the buzzer? Officials are going to get together on this and potentially check the monitor here to make sure that there was no interference as Muhammad came flying in with the putback.
Coming out of the bottom of your screen. I think that's definitely in. I didn't think the ball was inside the cylinder when Muhammad officially first got a paw on it.
So they have counted the basket. Now they're checking time on the clock. So that stops a 14-0 run. And Nick, that has been the Achilles heel of this Georgetown team all year long. They have been in games. They led Villanova at halftime earlier this year before, as the Wildcats usually do, went on a big run in the second half. But that has been the thing that has taken them out of the games that they have been in.
Yeah, led Providence at half as well. Led DePaul on the road in the second half, and just the wheels have fallen off at times, and it's challenging because Creighton has been outstanding here to close the half, especially shooting the ball. This has been as good as Creighton shot. One more time, take a look at it. Definitely outside of the cylinder. Muhammad gets it to go down. There's going to be 2.5 on the clock here.
Creighton has shot at 47% from downtown. They get it into O'Connell. Half court heave. Almost banked it in. And the way he shot it in the first half, I think everybody in the arena thought for a split second it might go down.
Well, we knew the three-point shot would loom large, and it did. 1 for 8 for Georgetown.
Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. We've got a pretty full house here at the CHI Health Center. Matt Schumacher, Nick Baugh with you as we get set to start the second half. Nick, Creighton ended the first half on a 14-2 run. How does Georgetown start to chip away at this deficit?
Well, it starts with stops, and it also starts with converting those shots around the rim, because when you miss those shots around the rim, that's going to be over and back. When you miss those shots around the rim, not only are you obviously not getting points, but that means you're constantly in a transition defensive situation where sometimes with one outlet pass, you now have a numbers disadvantage. So you got to start converting your shots around the rim, and then you got to string together some stops. Defended three-point line would also help as well.
Creighton shot at 44% from downtown. How about that move from the freshman Muhammad, picking his way through the defense?
Well, Muhammad has certainly gotten to his spots. I've liked his shot selection, getting right around the rim.
14 points for the freshman. He's the only Hoya in double figures as Kalkbrenner uses the muscle and goes right into the chest of Malcolm Wilson.
That's good X's and O's from Greg McDermott. A little misdirection, and oftentimes those misdirection plays allow the post player to get deep post position. And Kalkbrenner finishes.
Rice from straight away, no. Kalkbrenner hasn't missed a shot yet. He's 4 for 4, 9 points. And he's been effective defensively as well, altering a lot of those shots that you mentioned that resulted in misses around the rim for Georgetown.
Yeah, a huge part of the reason Creighton's defensive numbers are so good is because of Kalkbrenner and how he makes everything tough around the rim.
Alexander on the kick out. O'Connell with 4, and it's the second time in the game he's been fouled on a three-point shot, and he's headed back to the charity stripe.
Well, Patrick Ewing just puts his hands on his hips in disgust, just frustrated with a mental mistake. They're trying to run guys off the three-point line. You've seen this a handful of times, whether it's fouling three-point shooters or fouling guys on the three-point line. As Harris, it's tough to see right there. But certainly looked like there was a little bit of contact, and now O'Connell will go to the line.
It's hard for a guy like Dante Harris to foul a three-point shooter the size of Alex O'Connell. I mean, that's a big discrepancy. 6'6" versus 6 foot, maybe. But nonetheless, O'Connell at the foul line. What a night he has had. 4 of 7 from 3. He now has 22 points. And Nick, in the previous 3 games, he was 4 of 20 from downtown.
Well, what a year O'Connell's had. And if you think about it, this is really the first year he's ever played consistently.
Yeah.
At Duke, he was coming in and off the bench a little bit, with his minutes were a little sporadic. Last year, in and out. And this year, he's starting and he's flourishing.
A couple of Hoyas down on the other end of the play. Numbers the other way. And O'Connell makes them pay. Splashes in another 3, his 5th of the ball game. On the 5-on-3, Wilson and Caden Rice shaken up after diving for the loose ball.
As a Main Street bank, PNC has helped over 7 million kids develop their passion for learning through our Grow Up Great initiative. And now we're providing billions of dollars for affordable home lending programs as part of $88 billion to support underserved communities, including loans for small businesses in low and moderate income areas. So everyone has a chance to move forward financially. PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference for you.
Welcome back to Omaha, where the Georgetown Hoyas just got the ball back, and Aminu Muhammad has been awarded 2 shots. 56-33 Creighton. Used a 14-2 run at the end of the first half to really blow this open, Nick, and now it's sort of gut check time for the Georgetown Hoyas. They've been in this situation a lot this year. How do they respond over the final 17:53?
We're going to find out.
They come with the press, which was effective at times in the first half. They have so far forced 7 turnovers of the Blue Jays.
Just been so impressed with the quality of shot Creighton has been able to get. They have 12 team assists on 19 made baskets. That ball movement's been terrific.
Poked away by Muhammad. And it's back to Creighton again. Blue Jays have shot at 58% from the floor, 47% from downtown.
Yeah, I really don't think Greg McDermott has gotten the credit he deserves this year for the coaching job he's had. And he lost all 5 starters on a team that went to the Sweet 16. He playing a bunch of freshmen, extended minutes, has a Division II transfer at the power forward spot, and he's blended all those things together, and he's got Creighton right back in the NCAA tournament conversation.
Right now projected on the 10 line by Mike DeCourcy. 5 to shoot for O'Connell, trying to wiggle free. Handoff from Kalkbrenner. O'Connell with 1, has to heave it. And it's into the hands of Muhammad. To your point, Nick, Creighton is the only team in the country playing 3 true freshmen more than 22 minutes per game. And yet here they are, currently in 4th in the Big East, and with a win tonight can move up to a tie for 3rd in the conference standing.
And that's the thing that impresses me about Greg McDermott. It's one thing to get it going with one group. He's done it with multiple groups. Doug McDermott's crew, Marcus Foster, Maurice Watson, Kyrie Thomas's crew. Then you have Zegorowski and Ballock and Tyshawn Alexander and that crew with Christian Bishop and Damian Jefferson. He has built multiple top-level teams here in Omaha. Oh, by the way, while they've been transitioning into the Big East Conference from the Missouri Valley Conference, this guy, Greg McDermott, is such a good coach.
Do you think he's, depending on how this season shakes out, do you think he's got a run at Big East Coach of the Year?
I think he's got to be in the conversation. It's going to be really hard to unseat Ed Cooley. There's no doubt about that.
It was a heck of a season in Providence. Narrowly escaping an upset at the hands of DePaul earlier in the week. And boy, they're setting up for a big-time showdown tomorrow night at the Dunk. Top 10 between Providence and Villanova. Top 2 teams in the league. That'll be a fun one.
Be a big-time game.
This ball on the deck. 3 bodies on the floor. It squirts out to O'Connell. Alexander floats it to Kalkbrenner. And an offensive foul, a charge drawn by Donald Carey.
How about Hawkins, though? Hawkins is playing with a banged-up knee. And he was the first one to get that loose ball in a bunch of traffic. That's a guy that just understands what it takes to win, because he's won 3 national championships at the Division II level. It's those kinds of plays that make a difference.
How about his record in college? 174 and 16.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yes. Carey for 3. Muhammad tipping it around, and there is Kalkbrenner to corral. A mini run here for Georgetown, 6-0 over the last 2 minutes. Hawkins promptly ends that with a 3.
Just a staple in Creighton's offense. It's that Kalkbrenner roll to the basket that puts that defense in a predicament. That defense being the guy who's guarding Hawkins, and you want to sink in to take him away, and you leave the three-point line vacant.
20-point lead for Creighton. Just below their largest lead of the game. Rice rims it out, and Ego Efe is there with a putback and a chance at the three-point play.
Well, Ryan Hawkins is the heart and soul of this team. Does things hustling, also does things scoring as well.
Who is in the mood for an amazing celebration?
This March, MasterChef Junior is back with an all-new season.
Let's go.
An all-new judge.
Daphne on!
And big surprises.
My daughter, Tilly.
What do you think of American Boys?
I'm here to cook, not flirt.
MasterChef Junior season premiere March 17th on Fox.
What's up, Jones?
Jones.
To be loved by anyone.
Jones.
Woo!
Jonas? It's keeping up with the Jonases now.
Try to keep up, whoever you are.
Stay ahead in the all-new Tundra.
My name is Lolly, and I'm a franchisee with Domino's. I started working part-time at 17 and worked my way up to owning and operating 2 stores by 27. 95% of our franchisees started out as delivery drivers or store employees, and you could too. Apply to your local Domino's today.
Super Emma just about sleeps in her cape, but when we realized she was battling sensitive skin, we switched to Tide Hygienic Clean Free. It's gentle on her skin and out-cleans our old free detergent. Tide Hygienic Clean Free, hypoallergenic, and safe for sensitive skin.
We welcome you to Manhattan and the Big East tournament.
Here at the Garden, decibel levels will be high.
This is going to be a good one, folks. 2 Big East powers.
You gotta be strong.
And that will do it. The Musketeers.
Oh, how about that?
And the jam.
What you gonna do? I appreciate you telling me that.
What you gonna do when they come for you? Hands on top of your head. Bad boys, what you gonna do?
FS1 College Hoops is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Welcome back inside the CHI Health Center on this Monday night in Omaha, Nebraska. The only Big East game of the night, and it is all Creighton 59-41. And we are less than a month away from the Big East tournament as it returns to Madison Square Garden. Will Georgetown be able to recapture last year's tourney magic, or will Villanova capture its first crown since 2019? We'll find out starting March 9th. Catch all the action on FS1 Fox and the Fox Sports app. Nick, this Creighton team was picked towards the bottom of the league, 8th, with all these freshmen. You mentioned all the starters they lost from a year ago, all 5, and yet here they are, 15-21 away from being tied for 3rd. Is this a team that could make a run deep in the Big East tournament?
Don't know why not. Greg McDermott's led multiple teams to the Big East tournament championship game. And one of the reasons why I think this group's got it in them is because they defend.
Yeah.
And if you want to win 3 games in 3 days, there's probably going to be a game, at least one, that's a rock fight. And Creighton's more built than maybe even years past to win those kinds of games because they got Kalkbrenner to defend the rim. They're a good rebounding team. And if you look at the way Creighton shot it here this evening, if they can couple it with this 3-point shooting, look out.
They're in the top 40 again this year in adjusted defensive efficiency, according to Ken Pop. Last year, they were also in the top 40, and they had not previously finished in the top 35 since the 2006-07 years. So this is starting to become a trend a little bit for Greg McDermott and his teams, and to be doing it with freshmen, how much more impressive is it?
Very. I mean, that's usually the one area that freshmen are the furthest away from kind of getting it, understanding the importance of defense, what you need to do on that end of the floor. But this group has really picked it up quickly. But again, when you got a guy like Kalkbrenner, it makes everything easier defensively.
Andronikashvili with the shake out to Hawkins. Sinks a 3 with a hand in his face.
But you saw that 3-point graphic. It's 11 made threes for Creighton, only 1 for Georgetown. And again, Georgetown's the team that's supposed to be prolific from beyond the arc, and it's just been a role reversal.
And there is Harris quieting the crowd a little bit. Just the second made 3 of the game for Georgetown. They only had 6 in 24 attempts on Saturday against Creighton. So how much of it is the Creighton defense and how much of it is just poor 3-point shooting?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's, you got to give credit to Creighton's defense. I think they've done a good job staying attached to Rice and Carey, but there's no question Georgetown's missed some shots that they normally can make.
And they missed them around the rim.
Yeah.
And so how much does that sort of factor into the missed shots the further you get out the floor? Psychologically, if they're not going down when you're right around the rim.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that it impacts your confidence level when you're not able to knock down shots, layups, 10-footers, runners off the glass. You just harder to get into a good flow.
Down to Ego F.A. defended by Kalkbrenner. And an offensive foul.
Ego F.A. kind of hooked Kalkbrenner. And a lot of that is because you understand you're going into a great shot blocker in Kalkbrenner. So times when you don't feel confident, you'll do some things to try and level the playing field. And it's an offensive foul.
Hawkins on the back down, and Ego F.A. almost caught it with one hand. It's a goaltend, so it'll count for Creighton. You mentioned, Nick, how well Creighton has moved to the basketball in this game. As you get another look at this, clearly the ball is going down.
Just a mental mistake.
Creighton has 14 assists on 22 made baskets. They had 26 assists on 30 made baskets on Saturday. That was a season high.
Yeah, the ball movement's been pretty. Been an unselfish mantra throughout this group.
Offensive rebound by Billingsley. First minutes of the night for him, coming here midway through the second half. Donald Carey on the step through, and the finger roll rattles home.
I think Georgetown's, they're not out of this thing. There's a lot of game left. And again, with the way Carey and Rice can knock down threes, deficit can get erased in a hurry, but it's not going to matter unless Georgetown starts digging in on this end of the floor.
Hawkins promptly responds with a triple of his own. And Hawkins now with 14 on 5 of 10.
I just don't know how a guy like Hawkins continues to get that open.
And then here he is on the defensive end, calling it out. The transfer from Northwest Missouri State is tagged with the foul. The drive by Jalen Billingsley.
What a 2-game stretch for Hawkins here.
Yes.
Sheesh. And his production is directly tied to Creighton's wins and losses. When he plays well, Creighton plays well. When he struggles, Creighton struggles.
You're spot on. In their 7 Big East wins, he's scoring over 18 points per game. In their 5 losses, less than 6 per game. He is the X factor offensively for this team.
And that's a dramatic 11-point difference between wins and losses.
We were talking about that with Greg McDermott today, and he just goes, well, there you go. Hawkins off the heel, a heat check. He had scored the last 11 points for the Blue Jays. Muhammad right into the grill of O'Connell, who poked it loose. And he throws it out to Harris. Harris with a little wiggle. And those shots have just not fallen tonight for Georgetown. They're now 2 of 13 from distance. Alexander whistled for the walk. Creighton's made 4 of its last 5 field goals. They lead it 67-48 at home.
This year, make good on your resolution to join a community that knows no bounds. Gather with more friends, experiencing places unknown. And become part of a family that knows the best adventures are the ones we share. Embrace each day, knowing that no matter where you go, it'll be one you never forget.
Shop and buy online with Jeep eShop, where right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on select 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee models.
Forged from the fusion of sweet honey and spicy spice, Wendy's new hot honey chicken biscuit and sandwich. A marvelous marvel of sweet, sweet heat. Cast atop crispy bacon and Wendy's spicy chicken. Because a true sandwich smith knows that flavor like this can
only be forged at a Wendy's.
Willie?
Uh-huh. Oh, right.
Thank you. So sorry. No, it was nice. I liked it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new hot honey chicken sandwich or biscuit at breakfast.
The Universal Champion Roman Reigns goes face-to-face with Goldberg ahead of their title match at Elimination Chamber. Plus, Shinsuke Nakamura defends his Intercontinental title against Sami Zayn. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
Starting out, life insurance protected your family, secured the kids' future, covered the what-ifs. Now you're retired, the kids are grown, and what if has become what's next? Your life insurance's work is done. So why keep paying for a life insurance policy you no longer need or can no longer afford? Let the life settlement experts at Lighthouse Life Direct help you turn your policy into cash. Incredibly, over 90% of life insurance ends without paying a benefit. Don't let this happen to you. A life settlement always pays you more than if you lapse or surrender your policy, usually at least 4 times more. It's your money. Use it for a better life in retirement.
If you are a senior with $100,000 or more in life insurance, turn your policy into cash. Go to lighthouselife.com or call 800-964-3588 for a free estimate. Lighthouse Life Direct. Settle for a better life.
67-48 in favor of the Creighton Blue Jays. And with the win tonight, Nick, they will be tied for 3rd place in the Big East Conference standings. And maybe more importantly, it's another win under the belt of Greg McDermott and company as you take a look at the Big East projections for the NCAA tournament. And right now, Creighton on the 10 line. This is a game they had to win.
Yeah, squarely on the bubble. And this would have probably been a quad 4 loss for the Blue Jays tonight, and they're on their way to avoiding that. But teams like Providence and Villanova, I think, have opportunities to rise because they're going to play each other 2 more times down the stretch. A team like Nova sitting at that 4 line. To me, they could easily get to that 3 line. And that's still a group that is really dangerous to see in March just because of their experience in particular in the backcourt.
And Creighton, too, has an opportunity to rise. You look at their remaining schedule as that 3 goes down for Colin Holloway. They have games against Marquette, Providence, UConn, and Seton Hall, 3 of which are at home. All 4 of which could end up being quad 1 wins if they could come away with them.
That's the beauty of playing in the Big East Conference, is more often than not, you're going to have a lot of quad 1 opportunities.
That's a grown man finish from Keyshawn Feazell through contact and puts it down.
That's a good job by Creighton to attack out of the full court pressure. Trap Nembhard right at half court. You get it out of there. You're able to attack with numbers. Good pass from Hawkins, and that is a weight room finish from Keyshawn Feazell.
This is a young man that averaged 13 points and nearly 10 rebounds a game last year at McNeese State. And, you know, look, this year he's not playing nearly as many minutes or having the same production impact. But Greg McDermott told him on the way to the airport after their game against Creighton on Saturday, I appreciate you for the role that you have accepted here this year.
You know, and that's what Greg McDermott, you know, he's well known as an X's and O's offensive coach. But I think what he does as good as anything is understand the mind of a player and the importance of confidence and the importance of feeling appreciated. Now, that's not to say he won't bite you. That's not to say he won't yell at you. But as basketball players, people, whoever, you want to feel appreciated by your superiors and your coaches, your bosses, your manager. And Greg McDermott has a way with people and a way with players that I think is truly special. Because how much do you think Keyshawn Feazell appreciated that conversation?
Well, you would know. You played for two different universities, at Kansas and then, of course, at Creighton.
And you just want to know that your situation is being understood. You know, and if you're frustrated with minutes or whatever, not saying you're necessarily seeking out sympathy, but you just want to be able to have a coach that understands and appreciates your contributions to the team and your situation and how you're navigating it. Now, I guarantee you Greg McDermott's had other conversations with guys that maybe aren't accepting their role overly well, and that's the beauty of it as well, of being honest, good or bad.
Double team comes towards Nembhard, and he gets it over to Trey Alexander. Alexander into Feazell again, and a two-hand jam with the cockback for the McNeese State transfer.
Great assist from Alexander, too. They have worked really hard on Alexander landing on a 2-foot jump stop and making plays, and it is translated into games.
Feazell's down there working in the post against the freshman Muhammad. He wants some more post touches. Creighton's made 6 of its last 7. There's the zip pass to Feazell. Are you kidding me? Keyshawn Feazell. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. This is quite the drop step. Tough finish. Look at 2 feet in the restricted area. Close proximity leads to baskets. Look, he's got 2 feet in the restricted area, turn and dunk. Got whistled for a technical. See him kind of standing over Muhammad and barking at him.
Dante Harris at the foul line, missed the first.
That was impressive, though.
That's a couple of grown man moves.
Sheesh. I think you're seeing the explosiveness and the athleticism from Feazell the last couple of possessions.
That's 6'9", 230 coming right at you. No, thank you. How do you defend that?
Well, you better not allow him to catch it with 2 feet in the restricted area. That's for one. So often, again, post defense to me is about doing your work early. If you let guys catch it close to the basket, you're done.
And Muhammad just couldn't keep the handle, well defended by O'Connell. That's one of the areas that Greg McDermott is most pleased with Alex O'Connell since coming to campus. Something, quite frankly, he didn't have to do it, dude.
No. Yeah, he's really bought into the defensive end of the floor.
Picked off by Dante Harris. Whips it down to Muhammad, and he takes it right into the grill of Alex O'Connell for two. Nembhard, the lob! Keyshawn Feazell puts it down.
That one's good for Dallas Mavericks Pizza.
Mr. Feazell came to play in the second half.
It's a dunk contest right now with Keyshawn Feazell. A lot of these are breaking the pressure, so you got numbers. Nembhard, lob. Feazell, the finish. Creighton's really done a good job of attacking out of this full court press and got a pretty good closer there on the back end of it with Keyshawn Feazell. What a spurt from Feazell.
Feazell, 12 points on 5 of 5. And those 12 points is season high for Mr. Feazell.
I'm really talking to the Creighton staff heading into the year. I think they really felt like Feazell was going to play pretty extended minutes, but it's just Kalkbrenner's ascension into being one of the elite big men in the country has just made it hard to get Feazell on the floor. And sometimes it's by no fault of your own that you're just not getting a ton of opportunities. I think that's been Feazell, the story of Feazell's season more so than anything with him.
Even Patrick Ewing remarked about the growth of Ryan Kalkbrenner. When we talked to him before the game, he said, I'm shocked at how mobile he is this year.
He's in better shape, gotten a little bit stronger, and his ability to protect the rim has been impressive. Boy, looked like Caden Rice was either tying his shoe or not sure what happened there as he was getting backdoored. It looked like it was tied up with his own equipment. You take a look at Kalkbrenner getting a much needed rest here.
Well, you talk about him putting on some size and some strength. He's put on 25 to 30 pounds since he got to campus as a freshman. And Greg McDermott said really over this past summer when he got to stay on campus, because he didn't have that as a freshman coming in due to COVID. He was getting after it in the weight room this summer.
Well, and that's the thing about big men. There's a non-negotiable level of strength that you have to have if you want to survive inside. Let's be honest, as a guard, you can get away with being a little bit lacking in the strength department.
Was that you?
That was not me. I didn't buy into the weight room until really my senior year, but in the interior, you have to be strong.
Yeah.
And so Kalkbrenner has no choice but to buy into the weight room, the nutrition side of things.
And in this league, you better be strong.
Yeah, no doubt. That's some grown men you're dealing with.
Donald Carey, a strong move to the basket and rolls it in. And Carey now will head to the free throw line to complete a three-point play. That is the fourth foul on Keyshawn Feazell.
Like the one bright spot for Georgetown over the last month has been Carey. He's been really consistent, doing a good job.
Round of applause for Feazell as he heads to the bench. Perfect 5 for 5, 12 points rather. And 3 rebounds to boot. But you're right, Donald Carey now in double figures, 13 straight games for the Siena transfer. And Nick, he's a guy that has really taken a leap in year 2 for this Georgetown team, from 8 points per game to nearly 14 this year.
And he was named team captain for the first time in the Patrick Ewing era. And he's done a good job trying to lead this group, which is tough. It's a young group that's endured a lot of tough times, but he's tried to stay consistent with them as a voice in the locker room.
Nembhard off the side of the rim. Ego Efe puts it into the hands of Donald Carey, who Patrick Ewing says just always says the right things. He's that voice in the locker room through the COVID pause, through the injuries, through the losses. His work ethic has never faltered.
If you're Georgetown right now, you try and just get this thing to under 10 by around the 6-minute mark-ish. If you can get this thing to under 10, all of a sudden that pendulum will swing a little bit. Just got to keep chipping away.
Jalen Billingsley at the foul line. Billingsley, one of 10 players that Patrick Ewing has used tonight. So he's now in 3 straight games used at least 9 players in the rotation. Just looking for that combination that can put together a stretch of winning plays. Nembhard floats it up to Kountouriotou. Everybody getting involved in the alley-oop action tonight in Omaha.
Nembhard's decision-making, breaking the press, has been outstanding.
And there's Hawkins trying to jar it loose from Ego Efe. Billingsley. And Hawkins comes down with a rebound. Hawkins now with 9 boards. 1 board away from back-to-back double-doubles for the Division II transfer. Hawkins a 3, and he missed it all. He said it was tipped by a Georgetown player. Well, Matt, Lob City in Omaha.
It has been Lob City, and it's been a one-man press breaker. Ryan Nembhard driving, lobbing, Kalkbrenner, dunking. It's all Blue Jays here this evening.
If our turkey had a resume, it would say it's 99% fat-free, filler-free, and raised without antibiotics. But our turkey already has its dream job at Jersey Mike's. Premium meat makes a sub above.
We gotta tell people that Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. And we gotta do it fast.
Woo! New personal record, Limu!
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For 3 generations, Sargento has stood for real, natural cheese. Because when you make it real, you discover the power of real.
Sargento. We're real cheese people.
Wouldn't it be great if all Valentine's Day gifts were filled with peanut butter? Well, maybe not all of them. Maybe it's just Reese's that are better.
Come on, Percy.
Yeah, let's go. On a trip. Book with Priceline. You save more so you can woo more. Woo. Yeah, feel the savings. Priceline, every trip is a big deal.
Our first vehicles weren't the fastest. Our first maps weren't that accurate. And the first electric vehicles weren't, let's just say, they look nothing like the first ever Ioniq 5.
The fully electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 with a 300-mile range.
Time for a kitchen refresh. Come into Lowe's now for a rebate on Samsung appliances, like their 4-door Flex refrigerator with beverage center and air fry range. Find the prices you like every day with Lowe's Price Promise.
Alone, chicken, onions, peppers, and cheese have potential. Together, they have a purpose, a destiny, and a name. Because grilled to order makes a sub above.
77-61, Creighton on top of Georgetown. In the first half, Nick Ba, it was 3-point shooting. In the second half, it's been the big fella, Keyshawn Feazell.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. High percentage shots you're about to see right here. First of all, Creighton's done a good job penetrating and dropping it down for Feazell. And when they're not dropping it down, he's throwing it down. Deep post position, right over Aminu Muhammad. And out of the press breaker, Feazell has just hung back and waited for lobs. Look at those numbers. Big time.
He did all that in 11 minutes.
Yeah, pretty good.
The microwave.
That's exactly right.
He has had this stadium jumping for a late night, Monday night tip. Great crowd on hand at the CHI Health Center. And Feazell having some fun with the coaching staff. He's headed back to ride on the bike and stay loose.
And keep those legs fresh.
Well, Kalkbrenner's playing with 3 fouls. Alexander playing with 3 fouls. And Feazell himself has 4. And it'll go back to the Blue Jays on the turnover for Georgetown.
I think you've seen a little bit of why Patrick Ewing is reluctant to really commit to this full court pressure, because it's gotten some turnovers, but it's also given up a lot of dunks on the back end of it. And that's one of the things that's tough about pressing is if you're able to break the pressure, you usually have numbers just like this here, and you're getting good shots.
And they don't really have a super experienced player in the post. Ego Efe was the only player on the roster last year to get any run at center because they had Wahab, who's now at Maryland. So their bigs aren't used to playing that many minutes.
No, and it's challenging. Again, that's the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team is it was an older group last year. And that group, usually older groups are usually going to be able to turn it on and stay the course a little bit better, and they certainly did finish the year strong, winning the Big East tournament.
Georgetown lost 7 players, including their top 4 scorers from that Big East Tournament championship team a year ago. As Alexander rips it out of the hands of Ego Efe, and the big fella tagged with the foul after the fact.
Tell you what, Trey Alexander just straight up took the ball from Ego Efe. And that was pretty impressive.
Defense is the thing that Greg McDermott has been most impressed with when talking about Trey Alexander. And Nick, particularly how quickly he's picked up the defensive schemes for Creighton.
Yeah, the coaching staff raves about Alexander's basketball IQ and intelligence.
Valedictorian of his high school class. We said, well, Coach, how come he's able to pick it up so quickly? And he said, well, he's just really smart.
Yeah, that helps. But here's the thing, is sometimes that classroom intelligence doesn't always translate into on-the-floor intelligence. And Alexander clearly excels in both departments.
Turned over into the hands of Dante Harris. That's the 13th of the game for Creighton, but it just hasn't mattered because of how well they've shot the ball. Muhammad, a tough reverse over the outstretched arms of Hawkins. Georgetown still fighting, down 14. And a foul on Jalen Billingsley.
Georgetown's going to make Creighton sweat a little bit. There's got to be a surge here to get this thing to single digits. And slowly but surely potentially running out of time.
Patrick Ewing's team has managed just one big run in this game, and that was a 7-0 run. They've had a couple of shorter spurts, 5-0, 6-0, but not anything sustainable to really chip into this lead. Meanwhile, Creighton's been on runs all night long. 8-0, 9-0, 14-2 to end the first half.
Well, a big reason why Georgetown hasn't been able to, or Creighton's been able to stop the bleeding is because they've been able to then go score. You know, they've been able to stop these long runs because they go get an easy basket with moving the ball.
58% from the floor for Creighton, 44 from distance.
Going small ball for Georgetown now with basically Kobe Clark at the 5.
Here comes Trey Alexander running the break.
Boy, it's become almost cliche to talk about in these broadcasts, but it's amazing how often that happens in college basketball now. Guys stepping on the sideline.
Why is that? Guys are just bigger and more athletic now, and the court hasn't gotten bigger?
My guess is because a couple years ago, the three-point line moved back, but still
happens a lot.
Gotta know where you're at on the floor.
I mean, earlier in the night, we saw Alex O'Connell trip over Patrick Ewing, which one of our officials, Lamar Simpson, said he has never seen in 20 years of officiating.
Which is pretty amazing.
He's also probably never officiated a game with a 7'2" NBA Hall of Famer as the head coach of one of the teams.
Right, a little different. You got a size 18 shoe walking around over there with Patrick Ewing.
Defensive foul on Creighton. Both teams in the bonus, so Muhammad will head to the free throw line. It's always fun catching up with Patrick Ewing. He is a treasure chest of stories from his time, not only playing collegiately for the great John Thompson, but also in the NBA, Nick. Just a storied career, and the only human being ever to win a Big East tournament championship as a player and then as a coach, which he did last year.
Yeah, when you're writing down some of the coolest and best memories of the college basketball season a year ago, you have to write down Georgetown's run at Madison Square Garden. It was fun to watch.
Sort of reminded me of when Kemba Walker at UConn,
where you could just kind of feel it. But the thing about it is that Georgetown was building towards that. They went 4-2 in their final 6 regular season games heading into the Big East tournament. So they had started to build that momentum before they went to Madison Square Garden. That's the beauty of college basketball, is March always provides hope regardless of how your season has gone.
If you're Georgetown and you're not winning games right now, Nick, how do you kind of build some momentum towards that? What they did last year, 4 wins in 4 nights. They beat Villanova, a team that nobody saw that happening to. They were ranked 14th in the country at the time. And then, of course, it all culminated with a huge win over this Creighton team in the final. 73-48 for a team that had a losing record in the Big East regular season.
Again, they were building that momentum, just trying to play their best basketball, peak at the right time, and they did that.
On this end, Dante Harris just got to the foul line on a made jump shot, and he was fouled at the end of it, so a chance at a 3-point play for Dante Harris, who was the most outstanding player of that tournament last year for Georgetown. It was a magical run for the Hoyas. Got to their first NCAA tournament since 2015.
And you get a stop at a basket, you cut this thing to single digits, it could get interesting. A turnover now.
A turnover into the hands of Donald Carey. Rice gives it up to Harris. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 20. Harris takes it with the left hand, and it's back to single digits after Creighton led by as many as 23. A 7-0 run for the Hoyas and a timeout for Creighton. It's getting interesting in Omaha.
If you pay less for auto insurance, but the coverage and service let you down, you might suffer from saver's remorse. Avoid saver's remorse and switch to Amica, because saving on auto insurance shouldn't mean sacrificing coverage and service. Get your quote today.
I know there's conflicting information about Dupuytren's contracture.
I thought I couldn't get treatment yet.
Well, people may think that their contracture has to be severe to be treated, but it doesn't. If you can't lay your hand flat on the table, talk to a hand specialist.
But what if I don't want surgery?
Well, then you should find a hand specialist certified to offer non-surgical treatments.
What's the next step?
Visit findahandspecialist.com today to get started.
Recently, we got a letter from someone who loves Reese's. A real letter, like on paper. Thanks, Artie, from Tonawanda.
You can email us next time.
ShipStation saves us so much time. It makes it really easy and seamless. Pick an order, print everything you need, slap the label onto the box, and it's ready to go.
Our cost for shipping, we're cut in half, just like that.
Go to ShipStation.com/TV and get 2 months free.
Dad, we got this.
We got this.
Let me check out the town, okay?
We got this.
We got this.
We got this. We got this.
We got this.
Life is for living.
We got this.
Let's partner for all of it. Edward Jones.
Do you think any of us will look back in our lives and regret the things we didn't buy? Or the places we didn't go?
Welcome back to Omaha, where all of a sudden, partner, it's gotten interesting from 23 to 9.
16-4 run here for the Hoyas, just chipping away at this thing. They've gotten stops, and they've started to score. See Dante Harris with a little and one, and then a nice drive and finish from the little guy. Doing a much better job defending and then converting. About 25 points off turnovers for the Hoyas. And just look at the scoring by half here. And there's plenty of game left. 4 minutes. So Georgetown doesn't necessarily have to continue to play crazy right now.
10 turnovers in the half for Creighton. And 16 for the game. And 2 areas that Patrick Ewing said he wanted to see his team improve. Scoring on turnovers and scoring on second chance opportunities, which they have done. They lead in that category 17-5. Alexander trying to get it over half court and just does before the 10 seconds.
Got to do something for Hawkins here if you're Creighton.
O'Connell with 25, Hawkins with 14. They go down to Kalkbrenner. Double team comes, and Muhammad wins a jump ball back for Georgetown. And there's a timeout on the floor. A career high 24 points for Aminu Muhammad. Can he lead a comeback on the road?
Thursday night on FS1.
Can you believe this?
Johnny Juzang leads 13th ranked UCLA against Washington State.
Get out of here.
Thursday at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on FS1.
Showtime at Daytona.
Here they come.
The Daytona 500, Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on Fox.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because as a fiduciary, it's our responsibility to always put clients first.
So you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. We help clients enjoy a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility.
One that we don't take lightly. It's why our fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. Fisher Investments is clearly different.
It's still the E-Fresh Refresh, and Subway's refreshing everything. Like the new honey mustard rotisserie style chicken. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's tender, it never misses.
You could say it's a Steph Curry a foot long.
You could, but I'm not gonna. Subway keeps refreshing and refreshing and
Want to get away? Now you can. With low fares starting at $59 one way.
Saturday, Big East Hoops tips off at 11:30 Eastern as Xavier takes on number 24 UConn in a rematch from Friday night. Then at 2:30 Eastern, Iowa battles number 18 Ohio State in Big Ten action. That's Saturday on Fox and streaming on the Fox Sports app. Meanwhile, here inside CHI Health Center in Omaha, the Blue Jays have seen a 23-point lead reduced to 9, Nick. Why?
Well, you see the 4 turnovers, and I think a part of it is Georgetown has continued to full court press, and Creighton kind of got caught in that position of stopping, attacking out of the press, and playing more on their heels, and that usually leads to turnovers. And all of a sudden, And look at that. That's 25 points off turnovers, and a lot of them have come over the last handful of minutes here.
4 turnovers over the last 2.5 minutes for Creighton as Muhammad has a chance at the three-piece.
But good action. You're able to get a mismatch. Muhammad was able to get Nembhard on him and took him right into the post. And go to work. You got a big size advantage. Nembhard trying to front. Good post entry pass. And a good shot fake. And now potential chance for 3 the hard way. But it all starts with the mismatch and exploiting it.
And now fouls, which have been a storyline throughout the course of the game for Creighton, but haven't mattered because of the 23-point lead, now are huge as Trey Alexander has just fouled out. Nembhard trapped. Thessaloniki just got it over half court. It's a 10-0 Georgetown run. No points for Creighton in the last 2:45.
I like Hawkins. Get Hawkins in the post.
And a foul against Dante Harris. Much to the chagrin of both Harris and Coach Ewing. And Creighton in the bonus, so a 1-and-1 here for Andronikashvili.
In the middle stages of the second half, remember all those lobs Creighton was throwing when they were breaking the full court pressure? They were playing aggressively, and all of a sudden Creighton, as the time was winding down in this game, started to play on their heels a little bit. And that can happen when you're trying to manage a lead, where you all of a sudden try to run offense with the parking brake on a little bit. And all of a sudden now Georgetown's chipped into this thing. The other thing that's happened is Georgetown's gone small. They got basically 5 guards on the floor, which helps your full court pressure and can be tough to guard on this end.
Harris, clear path to the basket and lays it off the window.
Really good little double back screen, freeing up the ball handler.
No field goals for Creighton since the 8:15 mark. The points they have gotten in the last 5.5 minutes have all been at the free throw line. Andronikashvili weaving through traffic. Tough shot. No. Kalkbrenner a second chance. O'Connell for 3.
Look out.
Rice in transition.
Just a little too deep. Greg McDermott's got to get the ball to Ryan Hawkins in the post if he can.
Rice is 0 for 5 from 3. Meanwhile, Carey, probably an unnecessary foul there as he was trying to get to Andronikashvili in the corner at half court.
And it's been that sort of aggressive defense that has gotten him back in the game. But you're right, time and score here. You didn't need to recklessly go after the ball handler, but now Andronikashvili stepped to the line.
This is the closest the game has been since it was 34-29. Bodies on the deck, and what is the call?
Got a jump ball, and it's going to the Blue Jays. And this is where not having a center on the floor is problematic. You're playing small. It helps you on offense and defensively forcing steals, but you got nobody that can block out Kalkbrenner. He's able to corral a free throw and tie it up, and now it's Creighton ball.
Here is Hawkins, who's already tallied the 8th double-double of the season, back-to-back against Creighton, against Georgetown, rather. 5 to shoot. Andronikashvili pinned in the corner. Crab step, and a tough shot won't go, and it's a shot clock violation.
Boy, the smaller Hoya lineup has really sped Creighton up and gotten them uncomfortable handling the ball.
No field goals for the last 6:45 for the Blue Jays. 2-possession game. Again, you got Harris now matched up with Kalkbrenner. Harris Rice lost the handle. Harris stop and start.
Good defense.
Out to Rice.
That is outstanding from Ryan Kalkbrenner. Matched up with Dante Harris, gets switched onto him, fights the penetration, slides his feet. That's really, really, really good stuff from Kalkbrenner.
And now the Blue Jays in the double bonus. A couple of errant threes in back-to-back possessions for Georgetown. Nembhard at the line. And he is a 74% free throw shooter on the year. And he has had an excellent game. 12 points, 6 assists, 5 boards, and just 2 turnovers. That's tipped out of play, and it's off Muhammad. And now the officials will take a look at it. Muhammad's reaction would have you believe that he felt it went off Creighton.
Well, that's twice, though. Free throw blockouts because Georgetown is small. They're having a hard time keeping Hawkins and Kalkbrenner off the offensive glass. Take another look at it. That's a tough one. It looked like
it's off Muhammad.
I agree. But again, it's a challenging part of going small if you're Georgetown. Rebounding. It's close. Bang, bang.
That angle made it look a little bit closer. The call on the floor is off Georgetown.
So is there going to be enough video evidence to overturn it?
Creighton hanging on by a thread. No field goals in the last 7:08. They've gotten to the free throw line and they've made enough to keep the cushion.
Well, just a couple of these rebounds for Georgetown could end up proving costly on these free throw situations.
Oh, and then Peg McDermott accidentally poked Hawkins in the eye.
Some friendly fire there.
That's the last thing you need. Hawkins, he laughed it off. He's back on the floor to inbound the basketball. As the players are acting like they know what the call is going to be, but the officials are still at the monitor here. And perhaps they're taking a look at the clock to make sure there is 1:07 left. And indeed, that is the call. So it'll be Creighton basketball underneath.
If Creighton can find a way to get Ryan Hawkins or Kalkbrenner in a one-on-one post-up, they're going to have a huge size advantage.
There is Kalkbrenner, and immediately fouled by Aminu Muhammad. They will send the big fella to the free throw line, and he is shooting right around 69% on the year.
Interestingly enough, I guess Creighton is going to send all their guys back, not try to challenge the rebound on the free throw. Knocks them both down. Big free throws from the big fella.
And a timeout taken by Georgetown. So it's back to a 9-point deficit for the Hoyas. 1 timeout left. Both teams in the double bonus. Nick, what are you running here if you're Georgetown?
Well, to me, you don't necessarily have to take a 3, but you could have some action that puts some pressure on the defense with one of Carey or Rice coming off some sort of staggered screen. The other thing you do is try and get Aminu Muhammad onto a good switch and let him attack the basket, because getting to the free throw line, you're in the bonus, and it allows you to set your press. But one of the things that's also challenging right now for Creighton is because they're so short-handed with their roster situation, with Arthur Kaluma out, with Trey Alexander fouled out, is they can't necessarily have a sub where they go small and switch all these screens. They have to play Hawkins and Kalkbrenner right now, even though Georgetown's played small.
Foul trouble has been an issue for Creighton all game, but not really, because they were up 23 with 18 minutes left of the ball game, so nobody was really thinking about foul trouble. Alexander hasn't been on the floor for the last handful of minutes. Feazell went to the bench about 8 minutes ago with 4 fouls. We haven't seen him since. It is a 21-9 run over the last 9.5 minutes for Georgetown. That is how we got here. They trailed by 23, 2 minutes into the second half. And Nick, no matter how this game ends, you got to tip your cap to these young players for Georgetown for continuing to fight on the road in the midst of 5 games in 11 days.
Yeah. And not only continue to fight in the midst of being 0-12 in conference play.
Yeah.
You know, it is. Haven't had a win in a while, and they continue to compete, continue to fight, continue to chip away at this thing, and they put themselves in position to at least have a chance here. Time is not of the essence here for the Hoyas. We'll see what Patrick Ewing wanted out of this timeout.
Muhammad with a career-high 27. Harris with a season-high 23. Those two have in large part orchestrated this second-half comeback for Georgetown. It'll be Muhammad to inbound the basketball. Muhammad, Harris, Beard, Rice, and Carey on the floor for the Hoyas. Here is Harris, defended by Nembhard. Harris had it tipped out of bounds by Hawkins, and last touched by Harris as it went off his head.
Boy, Dante Harris had Caden Rice open. They were running a little crackback screen to get Rice a 3 right in front of the Georgetown bench, and he missed it. It ends up being a turnover. Good hands from Ryan Hawkins.
And the Blue Jays call a timeout, trying to get the ball inbounded. They have had some issues in this half against Georgetown's press. Creighton has turned it over 18 times in the ball game. More than half of those coming in the second half.
Yeah, that's been one of the issues for Creighton. Turning the ball over, but for Georgetown, Aminu Muhammad, he's continued to do what he does throughout this second half, which is put pressure on the defense, attack the paint. He has been always playing with great energy throughout this game. 27 points, a lot of his damage in the interior. This guy's got a bright future, and you've seen all that he's got here this evening. Look at those numbers. Love the 11 free throw attempts.
And he's playing with 4 fouls and playing aggressively. A double-double for the Big East preseason freshman of the year. Now he's trying to get a stop for the Hoyas. 54 seconds left in the ball game. Kountouriotou fouled on the sideline by Tyler Beard, and Patrick Ewing not pleased with the call.
I like that from Kountouriotou. He committed to a move where he was going to beat Beard to the sideline. So I'm going to beat you to the sideline, or you're going to have to foul me. And he was able to beat him there. So here he's going to rip and go. Beard couldn't quite get there, had to push him. Good decision from Kountouriotou.
Makes the first. He now has 3 made free throws. And a technical has just been assessed to Patrick Ewing. There's some extracurricular conversation after the foul was called on Tyler Beard. So O'Connell will take the technical fouls shots, and then Kountouriotou will come back to complete the foul shots that he was already starting to take. And it was an unsportsmanlike technical on Patrick Ewing. So O'Connell knocks them both down. Now Kountouriotou will go to the free throw line, and it's an opportunity for a 4-point swing.
Wow.
For the Blue Jays.
Obviously a big sequence. Started with, I thought Harris missed Caden Rice for an open 3. Ends in a turnover. And now a handful of free throws.
Donald Carey brings it up for the Hoyas. Carey to the cup and lays it in.
Again, no timeouts for Georgetown.
And Muhammad has just fouled out of the ball game. A career high 27 points. And I'm not sure he was going for the foul there, Nick. It looked like he was swiping for the basketball, but the night is over for the Big East preseason freshman of the year.
It's a heck of a night for this dude. He was in attack mode. 27 points, got to the free throw line, put pressure on the defense. Impressive.
Perhaps if Georgetown had won a few more games this year in league play, he would be a serious contender for freshman of the year. Or do you think he still is?
I think he's still in the conversation. I feel like Creighton's Ryan Nembhard is really, at this point, the early leader in the clubhouse, but certainly Aminu Mohammed's done a nice job being consistent.
Another double-double for the Big East leader in double-doubles, Mohammed. But he's no longer on the floor for the final half minute as Harris rims it in and out. Rebound Hawkins, and it looks like Creighton will escape a furious comeback attempt by the Georgetown Hoyas. What a battle down the stretch.
Well, you got to tip your cap to Georgetown for continuing to fight, but you also really got to tip your cap to the performance of the Creighton Blue Jays. Turnover bug bit him a little bit in the second half, but boy, offensively, 12 made threes, 53% from the floor, 20 team assists. Got 4 different guys in double figures. Pretty good evening for Greg McDermott's group.
Greg McDermott's group will have a date at DePaul on the 17th. Georgetown heads to Marquette to take on the Golden Eagles. Creighton wins at 88-77. They led by as many as 23 and then staved off a late comeback attempt by the Hoyas down the stretch. For Nick Ba and our entire Fox Sports crew, I'm Matt Schumacher saying so long and happy Valentine's Day from Omaha.
The cars roll off the grid in front of a packed house for the 53rd annual Daytona 500. The skies are petty blue, and the field of 43 begins to form up down toward turn number 1. A beautiful, perfect day for racing. This race is brought to you by Budweiser, the beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, fast finish. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds.